right, it is that time once again to hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. I'm merely Brad Powers. Before we talk week 3 already of college football, before we give you some more best bets, I've already given you 5. I think we got at least 5 more left in the chamber, so to speak, for you guys here. Before we get to any of that, and I talked to Knish, if there's any recent news that has gotten him even more pumped up about the Lions, let me remind everybody that Hit the Books is brought to you by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to use multiple sports books and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sportsbook for games, futures, player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. If you're looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks or hit the link in the description. If you sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Make sure, guys, you're hitting that like and subscribe button. We'll try to set a record here as far as Hit the Books. Knish, you sound great, at least before we started the show here. Your mic sounds good, buddy. But what's happening, my man?
Listen, Joey Crystal Clear is back, baby. Listen, nobody's got better tech support than we do here at the Hammer. So feeling good, ready for more Coach Prime pain. I tell you what, I should have grabbed a pair of sunglasses there before just starting the show. I'm gonna need a new pair after this weekend, baby. Because let me tell you something, my man Jay Norvell's got something to say.
There we go. Let's just get right to the chat and start breaking down a bunch of these games coming up tomorrow. And also there's a few games on tonight. We'll get to all that. Ronald in the chat, he's first up. Ohio U Bobcat money. Yeah, just showed up before we went on the show. Looks like that came off at 3 down to 2.5. I can tell you I bet Iowa State -2 at the open. But a guy I really respect, Tailgate. He's on the Iowa State. I'm not wild about it. It's not one of my favorite bets, but where are you at? You break the tie here. I mean, Ohio money coming in today. I'm a little surprised by it.
I'm actually kind of on the we might have a head-to-head here. Sorry, Frank Harris announced out. So literally steaming as the show starts there, trying to grab a little extra. But no,
how much you think he's worth compared to how he's played so far?
Well, I mean, the issue was at the second half of that Texas State game, he could not move. So that takes, Frank Harris's half of what makes him special and kind of, the issue is their backup look real rough there. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see here. I mean, I think even if he played, he was going to be highly compromised. Was kind of thinking that he wasn't going to. This isn't a game that, UTSA really, it matters in terms of what counts as a successful season for them. But we'll see. I mean, Army hasn't exactly looked particularly great as well, and it's a UTSA front that I think can kind of handle if they're locked in. So, yeah, this was a nice underlook. Obviously, earlier in the week, numbers coming, but down to the low 40s now. But it's one that, I mean, you got in my head I'd even still play. But back to your original question. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, boot on the foot. He could not walk last week. So, credit for him to gutting it out, but. Listen, you know this season, baby. I'm a Rourke guy. I'm an Ohio guy. I don't think Iowa State has been particularly good. I know they kind of played with Iowa last week. I think it's been rough. I think they've been a little even somewhat fortunate. Again, the Northern Iowa game, they were fortunate to be in there. I listen, and I know I'll look at the glass half full from last week against Florida Atlantic. This explosive offense that Tom Herman for Ohio's defense looked pretty damn good. Now Rourke struggled a little bit, but I saw our friend Tailgate 10. I know you like Iowa State. I preferred Iowa.
We go head to head on 2.5, or you want that 3?
Well, now you're giving. You know what? Head to head, baby. Give me the 2.5. Ohio outright. I got him in the round robins this week. Listen, I'm not a man that's afraid of a trail. Even though I liked when it was through 3 a little more, I'll still take. We'll go head to head with the 2.5 there.
All right, there we go.
I think Ohio's winning this. Baby outright.
I might be in trouble this week. I like a lot of road favorites. It usually doesn't spell success. So we'll see there. All right, head to head. I like that to start it off. Austin in the chat, Tulane Southern Miss plays, maybe under, game trouble with due to Pratt's uncertainty. I'll tell you this, I like Tulane in this one. In fact, I kind of hope Pratt gets announced out, number caters, then I'll go ahead and take Tulane, man. I was super impressed with what they did against Ole Miss last week. Horton, I thought, looked okay. I mean, certainly struggled a little bit, but he's playing Ole Miss for Pete's sake. So I thought Tulane defensively looked pretty good. Misleading final. I thought they outplayed Ole Miss for a majority of that game. They have revenge. I mean, I'm not a big revenge guy, but we got the same coaching staff here and relatively same key players. So keep in mind, one of the few losses for Tulane last year was against Southern Miss. So let's see if Pratt gets announced out. Lionel Crater. That's at least my game plan to attack in this game. What say you?
I'm with you. I mean, Tulane, super impressed. And again, this is from two guys who were pretty long Ole Miss last week. They probably should have won that game, much less not even covered any of the numbers. Super impressive effort. I've talked about it a few times on the show. I love their DC they got from Troy. Would expect him to be, a Power 5 or maybe even a potential head coaching candidate in the offseason. Kai Ward. I mean, I agree. Pratt, big name, but I mean, Kai Wharton was pretty fantastic last week. Tulane, I will agree. They are. Listen. I thought they'd take a little bit of a dip in the offseason coming for this. Doesn't look like that at all. So, and Southern Miss, a team that I really liked backing last year.
They don't look that good.
Yeah, I haven't been super impressed so far this season. I think it's just a game where they're, they're overwhelmed here. I don't like what they're doing on offense either. Something that I hoped would improve in the offseason doesn't look like it. So I agree with you. I think if Pratt doesn't play, this crashes. I would be definitely interested on the Tulane side at that point.
Yeah, we'll see how far it goes. I laid on the open, just in case Pratt would play, I laid 10 on the opener. So if I get 10 or less, I'll just jump back in and rebet Tulane in that one. Maybe we got our first best bet here. Maybe if you get some agreement here. Grant in the chat, LSU minus 9.5, Ohio State first half. And in the NFL, he'll go with Kansas City. Let's talk LSU because we were meandering when you and I last talked. Monday, I asked you, do we lay the 10? You're like, nah, let's wait. Do we lay the 9.5 and make it a bet? There's some, I'll tell you what, there's different groups on different sides of this one. There's people, not just me and my peeps. We lay 9.5, goes to 10. There's buyback on Mississippi State. It goes back to 10. There's buyback on Mississippi State. Where are you at this one?
I'm kind of in the conflicted range here. I don't have a super strong opinion now that it's, I like early some of the Mississippi State buyback at 10. I respect there. But again, gun to my head, would it be an LSU play under 10? Yes. But it's not something where I'd be, running to jump in at 9.5 in there. I know you're stronger on it than I am. And I agree. I think in terms of like these two rosters and where they're at, I think LSU's, should run away. There's been some, I don't know, some chirping around the and maybe that's all, just kind of noise around the LSU program and some of the issues going on there. I mean, they seem to handle business no problem last week. So, but yeah, if you like it enough to back it, I'm that it's the side I would take at this moment. It's just I'm not super bullish at where it's at the moment.
We'll see. We might come back to that one. We'll see. We'll make sure we get you guys 5 bets here on today. So we might come back to that one. Maybe I'll own that one and say let's go ahead and make it. Let's see if there's anything else. Austin in the chat, Florida plus 8.5 at open. Yep, I mean that was our best bet. You listened to Monday show. We took 7.5. I agree with the movement there. Under money came in today. I agree with that, obviously. Also, Austin mentions the Buffalo plus 3.5. There's been some back and forth on this game as well. I prefer the Buffalo side. I think Liberty is overrated, and I typically don't mind. I think when the market sees a team like Buffalo lose to an FCS opponent, they throw them in the trash. It happened to Buffalo last year, and they went out and covered like their next 6 games. So, plus 3.5 would be the bet for me on Buffalo. I haven't bet it big yet, though. Did you take part in this one? Because there has been some back and forth.
No, it's two. I tell you what, it's two teams that I would love if they weren't playing each other. I would have loved. I agree with your take on Liberty of them being, overrated there, getting a couple. I thought that you were fortunate last week. I know we faded them. So I agree. I think they're down this year. It just hasn't shown out yet, but it's a Buffalo team that I'm not particularly, there's another team. Again, it's one of those matchups where I'd love to fade both these teams this week. Unfortunately, they're playing each other. Gun to my head again. It's another one I would just take the points in the 3.5. But it's one that I agree. I haven't significantly invested in either way.
Let me go back to the LSU game. Lion Brown in the chat. Brad's going to be in for a rude awakening come Saturday. Big overreaction on his power rating regarding Mississippi State. Well, we'll see. I mean, I watched him on against Arizona. Didn't see it. Don't see it from the coaching staff either. We'll see though. Brian Kelly's not my favorite, so I wouldn't be shocked he gets out coached. I don't see it. I don't see the path for success for Mississippi State on either side. Harry in the chat, Kansas State only 3.5. Please explain it instead of 7 or 8. I'll tell you, from my ball ratings, make it like 5.8. I think the spot says Missouri, so I'm not surprised that we're sitting here right around 4. I did not bet it. Another game, 2 different groups. A lot more Missouri that I've seen, but I've seen some, people laying 3.5 with Kansas State, and maybe they're letting the Missouri action continue, and maybe they see even a cheaper number. I haven't got. My gut tells me Missouri's the right side, but my goodness, Kansas State. It's tough fading Kansas State, man. They're so buttoned up when it comes to offense, defense. They don't commit penalties. They don't commit turnovers. Missouri doesn't wow me on the coaching staff.
Yeah, I'm with you. I tell you, I'm about a half point away here from jumping in. I don't know if we'll get there. I'm sure there are a lot of other folks with that sentiment of mine as well. So it'd be one of those. I don't think it would last, even if it got there very long. But yeah, that was, it was one where we talked earlier in the week. If Missouri got up to, the 6, 6.5, 7, interested there, never got there, it's come back down at Kansas State, then I'd be more interested in that, especially if I can find, a cheaper money line price minus, 150 or something like that, would have my interest as well. But it's kind of been in that zone where, I've kind of waited for it. And so it looks to be, the only side here is if I can get a little cheaper, Kansas State at some point. Will we see it? I don't know. But yeah, not one that I've gotten involved with as of yet either.
Ronald in the chat, San Jose State +8, another Jason Cannell special. That's my thought process. My power ratings say Toledo, but I did not bet Toledo because this is a classic Jason Cannell game where forget the point spread. He'll just lose outright. I like the over, though. I'm going to ask you about that because there's been some buyback on the under. What's your feelings on the total along with the side? Can we get a bet out of this game?
I to be honest with you, I like Toledo here.
Wow.
I think they might run them out. Yeah, I'm got to some 7. I bought some 7. I listen, and I like San Jose State and their offense, and I think they'll be competitive in the Mountain West this year. And maybe have potentially best quarterback in the Mountain West. This is a tough, I know they got a couple of Pac-12 games in. Then they go, home, and then they're traveling across the country here. I think Toledo is pretty damn good, to be honest with you here. So, I'm concerned. This is one where I really, and I don't believe in San Jose State's defense, to be honest with you here. And I don't know if they'll do enough to keep up. I think they might get. This is just one I know spots. I think they could get run out here going in. So I laid it with the Rockets at 7. I'm with you, though. I think it's kind of, back and forth affair, all that. Both teams going crazy pace. So, yeah, gun to my head, I would take it over. But I laid it with Toledo at 7.
Do you want to put down that 7 as a best bet, or
I'm in? We've got to fight. Hold on, does Zach
that's
have
Pinnacle? It's the only one, though.
Yeah,
I don't want a little bit more.
Got to be said. If people got access to, we got a bunch of Canadian listeners on this show. If you got it, hey, listen, you got the 7. Hey, you want 7.5? If you can get a 7 minus 115 or any of that. But yeah, at 7 I was in. And you know what? Hey, were they still sponsoring the show? Give me the damn 7 at Pinnacle.
There you go. That's Joey Knish, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I mean, my power ratings call for it. I have hesitation with Candle laying points. I do like the over. That's one of my favorite totals. We might come back to that at the end of the show if we don't have enough best bets. RW fan 23 in the chat. Thoughts on West Virginia line movement? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would have been surprised by it, and maybe I was for a few days. Not that I was part of it or anything. Not that I'm Mr. Pittsburgh, but yesterday I watched the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. Holy hell, Cincinnati crushed them at the line of scrimmage. I'm here to tell you, Cincinnati's defensive line might be top 10 in the country. Pittsburgh struggled on both sides of the ball. Dracovic looked like shit. I think it's a home run spot for West Virginia. If Neil Brown wants to save his job, he's got two of these games coming up. This one and then against Dana Holgorsen in Houston, where he can basically save his job. I understand it after watching it. Did I bet it yet? No, but it was one where I kind of leaned towards Pittsburgh in the offseason. I was thinking Pittsburgh won coming into this week, and then that whole rewatch, I was like, I want nothing to do with Pittsburgh right now. You're going to say Pittsburgh +3 is a bet for you?
No, I was with I was this is another I was same wavelength here. Played some game of the year Pitt with a bad number now. Was thinking that, oh my goodness, this is gonna be, a great spot for Pitt to come off Cincinnati, West Virginia. I agree. I got shook off it here, and I know a group of right angle gave out the West Virginia side here, steamed up to 3. I'm still it's a pass for me. If you got in on West Virginia early, obviously got a good price early in the week. I'm too shook after that. If it gets through 3, maybe a small piece of ad there. That's what I would need to get a part of the Pittsburgh side. But I'm with you there. Last week's performance, they got buried, and they got buried on not only the defensive line, as you said, but Cincinnati was able to really, and West Virginia
ran on
to do
too.
Right, that's why they're going to want to run the ball up. That's what it's kind of the new West Virginia. We're going to man ball you all over the place. So, yeah, listen. That was an alarming game. I don't want to try not to overreact to one data point too much, but I'm kind of off the Pitt train for the moment here. So at 3.5, would I sprinkle a little bit to maybe get back in? Sure. Otherwise, I'm out.
Are we on the Cincinnati train? Because, this is in the weeds, but you can start connecting dots. They annihilate Eastern Kentucky in week 1. Eastern Kentucky plays with Kentucky legitimately throughout the game. The very next week, Cincinnati hammers, obviously, Pittsburgh. Right Angle Sports, I think, hammered Miami, Ohio, I think it was earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
I would lay the 14. That's just me.
Not there? I'm not there. I'm not.
That's why we talk about it. We talk it through.
You know what? I'm a little concerned where, I agree with on the fact of Miami, Ohio. I thought they, had the game versus Miami, and now Miami looks really, really legit. Maybe the rain delay. It seemed like they were going to run UMass out, and then a 9-hour rain delay, and they come back, and UMass is able to kind of move it on them with the backup quarterback. So I would tend to, I think we'll get a little bit more. I have a feeling we'll get even a little bit better Cincinnati price. Maybe tomorrow you can get some under 14 or something. But that's one where I'd agree with the Miami move originally. It's kind of in a wait and see mode for me now.
Okay, fair enough. 13.5. That will be. I've already bet it. I'll rebet it at that. Spammy Sosa. No, it is not. Remember, Florida's the best bet, folks. We do not like Tennessee at all. At all. We like Florida. So don't read in the hat. I just like the hat. That's all. In the chat. Jim Lawless in the chat. Iowa State -2.5. Yep, tailgate's on that one. So he, tailgate and Powers, Iowa State, Knish, Ohio. Be an interesting battle, to say the least, on Saturday. Understand alignment. Yeah, we talked about this one, Missouri, Kansas State. The spot says Missouri. To me, Kansas State's just the better team in that one. UAB, Lafayette over 59.5. It's been bet up. I think that's the right side. Lean that way. Did you bet that one?
No, didn't take part, but I agree with that. I thought the overmove wasn't able to get on some up, but that's the side I would play it on too. Was the early round. Kind of like UAB's offense has been. Maybe I'm still the only one on the UAB train, but it's looked really good. Their defense hasn't been particularly good, but I played a little UAB, nothing crazy, but under street there I think would be a small play for me. But I agree with the over there.
Agree. ECU app money coming in on ECU and the under. I don't know. I'm not impressed with ECU's offense. I thought App State looked good last week. This Aguilar kid, supposed to be the backup piece. If you followed him the last 6 quarters, he looks very capable. I don't know what App State team you're going to get. The team that struggled against the FCS Gardner-Webb or the team that easily could have won at North Carolina. I don't know in that regard. To me, if it goes down to 7, I'm laying it with App State. What are you doing?
I hear you. ECU's offense has been really rough this year. They had the Garcia kid. They all talked up. The kid, when the lights come on, can't play. They're having to switch quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. Their offensive line's really bad. I know App State is this Jekyll and Hyde team where, they thought they were going to come down. Then they're taking UNC to the wire. I agree. It'd be an App State if we can get down there or nothing for me. I'm I don't think you see. I mean, their defense has shown up a little bit in some game, but their offense, I can't get behind that. I think App State, if App State's clicking right, they can run them out.
Fair enough. Jack in the chat, Northwestern plus 17.5. I'm on that. Anything above 17 Northwestern, I think, is a play. That's another one got hit today. I would consider it sharp. Unfortunate for my tout service that somebody hit it before me. Oh, well. I do like Northwestern. I was Mr. Northwestern last week. Nobody believed me. I thought watching that game against Rutgers, I didn't really watch it. It was on one of my TVs on Sunday when I was recapping the week 1 slate because it was that isolated Sunday game. I thought, I don't know if Northwestern's that bad. I think Rutgers might be pretty competent, and the market thinks Rutgers is competent. The way they're laying a touchdown against a banged-up Virginia Tech team. 17.5. Are we taking that as a bet or no? We'll pass. We'll move it further along. We'll get some bets here.
My concern,
you hesitated. Anytime you hesitate, we move.
This is old Duke. It's like this new Duke. They seem to be running like the tempo is out of there. It came into this year, and that I was not expecting. I thought they would have. Obviously, they've got NFL quarterback in that, but they've come on this year really wanting to get as many plays in as possible. So under the the old Duke, if they were going a little bit slow, but a little concerned that just the way Duke is playing right now, if Northwestern can keep up, if they can't stop them.
Connor in the chat, Arkansas -8. I don't like either team, BYU or Arkansas. I'm part of the under money. If you gave me, I did, I think, get to the window on Arkansas because I thought it was at one point in the week going to close 10-ish. No, we've seen BYU money since then. So I got a negative CLV bet, unfortunately. But I guess I lean Arkansas. I don't like either team. I think the under was the sharpest of the side here. What say you?
Yeah, the under was absolutely the nuts in this one. I know almost every person that I know that Bezra was fiending for this under. It's got hit a few times. It's down now. I mean, a touchdown from probably one of the,
down 10 points or so from Circa.
Yeah, I was going to say one of those 4 softer opens of the season on any total. To be honest with you, I'd still go under in this one, but it's bet down so much here. I don't want to get, but yeah, on the other, oh my God, these two. I don't. Is Arkansas's offense this is brutal? BYU is a team I really don't like particularly well, but Arkansas, I tell you what, Sam Pittman, he better. If he doesn't get this one, things are going to get a little sweaty down there in Fayetteville.
I think he's sweating no matter what. Pun intended. I will say, moving forward, actionable advice. I think you want to continue even after this week. Bet these two teams under as soon as you can. The first book that opens up, you want to go under. BYU looks like a dead nut under team. Defense improved, offense. Arkansas is going much slower tempo. Bryles and no longer the OC. Enos is the OC there. They're running slower tempo. Rocket Sanders is banged up at running back. So under for both teams moving forward until we see different. Caleb in the chat, any FCS versus FBS games I'm looking at for tomorrow? I'm anxious to see what the Idaho Cal game's priced at. The Cal's a little, banged up. Jay Knott banged up. Their outstanding running back. Idaho pummeled Nevada legitimately. We'll see what that one's at. That's kind of one I'm intrigued by. Was there anyone that you're intrigued by? The extra board games? I'll have to look.
We really don't have a
we don't have any lines, so it's tough. I don't feel like saying much.
I agree. I'd say I don't really want to give it out before people have the chance to even post lines on this here. So I'll pass on giving my opinion on those for the moment.
Yeah, I just said I'd be intrigued by the line. I mean, there's so many times, guys, that I think I'm coming into a game thinking I'm going to bet one side. They release it totally opposite, and I'm betting the other team. I'm just looking at some of the matchups. I mean, I'm just seeing competitively priced games. North Dakota, Boise State. Be an interesting one. North Dakota's been pretty good. I'm just looking. Yeah, I don't see a clear, oh my God, they can pull an upset. No. So we'll see. We'll see pricing. I can tell you guys, FCS versus FCS, weather will play a factor. So I'll let you guys do the groundwork there, but mind the weather in FCS. There'll be a few games that are impacted there. Penn State minus 14.5. I think you get 14 now. That just got steamed like literally 5 minutes before we came on the air. What are we doing now at 14? I kind of like Penn State minus 14. Or are we respecting the move that just happened?
I don't. You know what? Like, there's moves, and then there's like yesterday when we talked, like when every person I respect here is like, what's going on? We're like, we'll usually like Memphis, and like people are still, like Billy Walters is still clicking on Navy the day of. Then that's a move where I'm like, oh, this is trouble. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
This is one that I'm not, I wouldn't put in that category there. So I agree with you. I still like Penn State. What is that? Pretty much 14, a little buyback there. 14s across the board. I agree. I like Penn State. I think Illinois this year, they lost Ryan Walters. Their defense hasn't been the same. I don't think they can keep up, with Penn State offensively with what they're doing. I agree. I like Penn State. I'm fine. If you want to give that one out,
let's do it. We have bet it. You and I behind. We've laid this number 14. So
yeah. So now that it's back there, and you know what? If it's 13-120 at sports, they better hope that sports rate doesn't come to Michigan because that'll be up. Yeah, flat 14. Fire it up, baby.
There you go. I like it. Let's talk quickly that Memphis Navy game because we didn't recap it. Was surprised the Navy money showed big time. I bet Memphis. That was one that moved against me significantly. Navy was the right side, clearly. Even with the fumble at the goal line and all that other stuff. I mean, Memphis did not look well. Navy, that was them going. What they attempt 17 passes. That's what I was expecting a couple weeks ago against the Irish. What was a little bit more of the pass attack.
Right, for sure.
So maybe they're finally waking up a little bit.
Like a team against Notre Dame, I was like, this team can't run for more than 6 yards on any play. They got nobody. And the first play of the game, they go 75-yard touchdown. So
they had multiple explosives. I don't know. They're maybe a team to be. I'm a little intrigued by now because that's kind of what I was expecting from Navy this year.
Does the Navy have leaks? Who got that? Who got the info that they're there? Well, what general laid a couple hundred dimes on Navy that day? Because I tell you that there was some. I didn't get any hint of people on Navy.
No, I didn't either. That
money
up.
Just blew up the fucking screen all day yesterday.
Everybody that I run around with was more on the Memphis side. Whether they bet it, they would at least lean Memphis. So I was stunned by that. That was one of the bigger line moves against me all year. It's been an intriguing year. I mean, pull behind the curtain. I don't have the market as far as market entry, what groups are going when. I don't have it all down yet. There's got to be new groups into the market this year. Connor, Charleston Southern plus 20. Who the hell are they playing? Charleston Southern.
I don't know.
What is this? Is that an FCS versus FCS? I'll have to look. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily like Charleston Southern. I know they looked good against Clemson early, and then they got absolutely annihilated. I mean, if you look at the box score, they were like minus 600 yards against Clemson and almost didn't cover that 50-point spread after they led in the second quarter outright. Yeah, I don't know where is that game? I don't even see it. Well, against William and Mary. No, I don't like that. So just to let you know, William and Mary's a pretty good team. So no, I don't like that one. Not that I'm saying William and Mary's got a lot of value, but no. Louisville minus 10. I like the under in that game. 10, I would actually lean towards Indiana. What say you?
Some people I know where you're on the Indiana side of things. I agree with you. I thought under was the play. Under was the only bet I have in this game. I don't want any piece of Indiana. I think Indiana is like brutal. So
they beat us last week on last Friday night. That would suck.
Again, the only school in Indiana. We're a lot worse than Indiana is Indiana State. So I don't. I'm just not. I think they're the worst team in the Big Ten. I mean, you could make I guess depending on what we think of Northwestern, but yeah, I'm not in on Indiana at all. So I thought under was by far the best play there.
Did you watch that game by chance? The Indiana State. I think it was the second drive of the game.
I did. Unfortunately,
they had a wide open touchdown. You and I could have threw it out in the flat. Nobody was on that side of the field for Indiana. They missed it. And I'm like, that's gonna hurt us. I bet in the end. I mean, I was a touchdown on the board, and the quarterback missed it. That sucked. Oh well. DM in the chat, Minnesota +7. I think 7's the fair number. I agreed with the taking the hooks out on 7.5, but I also agreed with the early money on North Carolina. So to me, 7's a very fair number. I'd be very surprised if it comes off of it at this point.
Yeah, I think that's where it was going at 7.5. Bought up, a little bit Minnesota back, but for the most part, I agree with you. Like touchdown, probably, it's shaped fair now.
Yep. Tom in the chat, Colorado look ahead versus Oregon, 14.5, USC 14.5. Let's wait right now. I mean, obviously, y'all know who I want in those games. Let's pray for a 40-point Colorado Buffalo win tomorrow night. That's what we're hoping for.
That's what everybody thinks is happening.
Yeah. What'll happen is, oh my God, they'll lose the game outright or something.
I'll tell you
I don't
what.
think so. I don't think so.
But the people always have the sports cheetah who can't tweet this stuff because of the insane people that live in Crawley, England. But yeah, he has to channel his money line round robin thoughts through an interpreter. That was one of the ones on his radar was the old Rams. I don't think they'll win either. Did I bet 24? Yes, I bet 24 because I'm going to keep fading Colorado until the end of the sun. But yeah, I
think the line goes high, and that's a bailout game on Saturday night. The most actionable piece of advice I'd give somebody right now is if you want to bet Colorado State, wait. It'll be 24 or higher everywhere, I think.
Agreed. Yep, it's one that, just wait. But the Colorado money ain't going to stop, baby.
No. Hopefully next week it stops. Post game it stops. Drunk driver in the chat, Western Kentucky, Ohio State. Believe it or not, Ohio State's offense has been bad. This is more, I laid early in the week on Ohio State because I was diving into Western Kentucky. They've been outgained in both games. You think, blowout wins, 2 misleading wins for Western Kentucky. I laid it with the Buckeyes. Not one of my favorite bets, but that's what my number said to do. You're saying Western Kentucky?
Wait a little spat back and forth there. I mean, I know I've been down on Ohio State. I'm looking 31 would be the buy point for me there. So I see there. So like I'm kind of waiting around. I think you might even approach it or get it tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to wait on a little bit more.
Virginia tonight +15.5. I think that's the side, believe it or not. I have not been impressed with Maryland's offense so far with Gaddis running the show. Wow, that's a shocker.
You're right.
I didn't dive too deep into it. You and I got a really good number. We won't even mention on Virginia. I didn't. Who are they starting at quarterback? I saw Musket got ruled he can play. I'd rather start the freshman. He looked very good against James Madison. He had a bunch of explosives. Did you read who's going to start in that one for Virginia?
I didn't see if it was official. I saw Musket was available, and I guess if you want to back UVA, you like that you have both options there. I agree. Virginia's been better than I thought this year, even though they absolutely gagged that game away and cost me a money line round robin leg last week. I agree. The Maryland off it has the pieces, but the most toxic OC in the history of college football came in, and it has already put its stench on this offense that couldn't do anything for 3 quarters against Charlotte. So I don't know. I know some people that laid the 14 with Maryland. They thought when it got down there, they bought that up. Maryland lane. I need to see some more out of that offense before I'm laying this kind of number with them. They might be like it was a team I was bullish on coming to the year. They might be like a significant downgrade candidate from what we've seen so far. If they don't get right tonight, then I mean,
let's have them meander and win by. Yeah, let's have them meander, win by 14 or something, and then we can take advantage of them once there'll be a 3-0 team that's phony heading into Big Ten play. So that would be preference. Steve in the chat, Tennessee, Florida over 58.5. No, I'm on the under. Do you agree with that one? That was part of the old BP tout service release today. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I joined you, and I know some other folks that also like that quite a bit as well. So
yeah, it moved more than normal, so I figured other people were thinking that was the right move.
Yeah, I mean, our friends over at no real 50. So I mean, I still lean under where it's at now. I don't believe that Tennessee. I mean, listen, unless it's a Joe Milton get right game.
I don't see that.
I don't think it is either. Florida's deep. I like their D coordinator. Their D's been better than I thought. They're a little banged up on offense. I still like the under where it's at.
Yeah, take out that explosive on the first play of basically the season that Utah hit over them. They've been rock solid. I know they played a backup quarterback in Utah and they played an FCS team, but they still, I mean, you can only go out and do what you do. And the touchdown they gave up last week was after a fumble. Like, it was an 8-yard drive. So they've been impressive. Tennessee's defense has been a little bit better than I anticipated. Their offense certainly has not been the case. Very inconsistent.
You want to go under? Best bet 56.5 there?
Yep, let's do it. There we go.
Fire it in there, Zach.
And just so you guys know, let me list the bets because I see people asking about games that we gave out on Monday. Make sure you're watching the show always because we'll get you more often than not, in front of the number. Oregon State minus 24 was the best bet on Monday. Florida, the game we just did, plus 7.5 on Monday. Georgia Tech, another line mover there, plus 20.5 was Monday. We'll talk more Syracuse. I gave out Syracuse. I think I like the over now that we've seen some buyback there. Connecticut, weather play. Plus, I had an inclination we were going to see two different quarterbacks. There we go. Look at Zach bringing that up. So we got two backup quarterbacks and maybe a little bit of weather, although the weather is not as bad as anticipated. So we saw a little bit of over money, but that's still, 3 points down from where we gave that out on Monday morning. Ryan in the chat, UTSA minus 7. No. Not without Frank Harris. No,
I don't.
Really I had to think like it. I had to delay. I was like, "What? What?" We talked about that earlier. If you missed it, Frank Harris out. No,
Army. It would be. I think they might lose. I don't want any part of that without their backup quarterback is not good, and we'll see. I mean, short term to prepare for. It's one of those. The Army option, I agree with, like, Navy's looking a little better after getting some time. And I was kind of more bullish on where Army was according to in terms of the offense this year than they. So, yeah,
they had a bad 5-6 minutes against UL Monroe that lost in the game.
Yeah.
That's what happened there.
Where it had like a chaotic, kind of, and again, they haven't played any, really played anybody this year. And I know UTSA's front is pretty good, but I don't know. I think Army is pretty live now.
There you go. That should answer your question, Jody Gordon. If you can get 7.5 on Army, that would be the side to go with now. If you can still find it, I'd like to know where that's available right now. What's the RR winner? What is that?
Round robin?
Oh, what is it? I'm sorry.
Listen, I tell you what. What was my favorite leg this week? Obviously, I talked to, Colorado State is the miracle leg. I had Ohio in some. I got a head-to-head on the show in there.
Okay.
I'm like, we're going we faded it last week and we took Rice. I'm going back to the wagon and switching up and going with Houston on the round robin leg this week, baby. Uncle Dana back in Houston. I think TCU is trash. Give me Houston. That's probably that's one of I got in. Fire off a couple. I got Houston in all my round robin legs this week. So there's nobody that's better to, come and fade than Uncle Dana in the round robins because he'll lose the games that he shouldn't. He'll win some games he shouldn't. So, yeah, I like Houston. Houston to pop them in there this week.
Florida? I would not be Florida winning. Would that shock you?
Well, no, it wouldn't shock me at all. Again, we're getting suppressed. Obviously, the number early in the week was a little bit better. But, no, I'm with you there.
Yeah. All right. Shows you, when I saw RR, I was thinking like Red River already, the rivalry. Total brain fart by me. Foley in the chat, Spartans get to 17. Well, we saw it today. It hit 17 for about 20 minutes, and then our good old buddy Dr. Bob gave it out. That was my game plan.
Doctor, I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, it was. If it hits 17 again, BP Stout Service is giving out Michigan State. In fact, I would take it now. If push came to shove, I'm taking it now. But yeah, 17 is a go. If you see it anywhere, it's a go for me. Pinnacle has it. I always hate when I'm taking, the bad number in Pinnacle. Mel Tucker to me is not worth anything. I don't know. I know it's a bad matchup. We already have Washington positions from way early, but this has gotten out of hand. I mean, are you part of the Washington money train here?
Early on, I grabbed some. We had our summer positions in Washington. I think the Circa Open 13 grabbed some of that. But now at 17, I agree. I think you're going to get with Harlan Barnett and Mark D'Antonio. they're going to go, I like the under here. They're going to go ugly it up. I think they're going to try and like go back to that Michigan State run. And that's, to me, that's the only way they can compete in the game is slow the tempo, run the ball, go, drain the play clock. So I agree. I like under, and at 7, if you got 17, I agree. I think that'd be the buy point there for Michigan State.
Agree. Jonathan in the chat, D ratings for projections. Are you familiar with D ratings? What's D ratings?
I am not. I'm not familiar with it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the
anybody else know that in the chat? Just I don't know what D ratings are. Maybe I'm just a total idiot.
Oh, they got their own projection set there.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing I would say is a lot of these publicly available projection stuff. I mean, I remember years ago, S&P Plus used to have some like market influence. Now, if you use S&P Plus, you'd be broke in about 2 weeks. So, I don't listen. Like there's occasionally a public available model like KenPom that can beat the market. It usually doesn't last very long, and then then you shouldn't really be using it to bet with.
I like Bill Connolly. He does the SP Plus. He answers my questions whenever I'm on Twitter. I think people thought I took a shot. Well, it kind of was because his post-game win expectancy on the Auburn-Cal game had like Auburn by 18 points, 98%. I did not see that. I mean, you can tell me they should have won the game or whatever. Even then, I would question it. But I did question that after watching that game. I don't know. Everyone's got a model. Then it is what it is. You're right.
It used to be the standard in public facing. It's not what it used to be. And like, I mean, when the guy was at SB Nation and grinding college football every previews every day for like
soccer.
Yeah, I know. Now he's doing like this Europa League game between SP Prague, and I wrote 300 words on it. Like, what? The guy's like the best college football writer ever, and now he's doing like like Serbian B League. Like, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, whatever. But I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, more power to him. But yeah, what we used to get, his team previews would start in February. They were the best. The best I've ever. And yeah, he was like 10 years ahead of market as far as analytics and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. He was the man for a long, long time. But I mean, other interests, more power to him. If he wants to talk soccer, be my guest. I hit the books, have a new rival, Peter Schrager. You were tweeting about him earlier.
You respond. He's one of those people that apparently Googles his own or Twitter searches his own name. Listen, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Oh, he came back after you?
Yeah, he did. He did tweet. He saw it and tweeted out. Listen, I'm sure he's a nice guy. God. You can tell when people have never placed a bet in their entire life and they're talking bet and they're like, "Oh, I'm betting $1 million on it." Like, listen. Respect him. I like when people chirp back. It's fine. It's funny. I'm sure good guy. Never a more painful listen on the Simmons podcast than him trying to talk betting every week. So, hey, I mean, listen, and he got, obviously the feedback got back because he's not on the segment anymore. So, I don't know. If you like Good Morning Football, there you go.
He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. He
seems like a great guy. I don't want to hear him talk about betting on the NFL, though. So it was about as painful as it got. So,
how many followers does he have? He hit back at you? I can't believe that.
Hey. Listen, Joey K, I've got a very natural talent of getting under people's skin online. Yeah. So no matter who it is, no matter you got Elon Musk, Joey K tweets at you and you get your blood boiling for a little bit. You can't help yourself.
There you go. That's funny. I didn't know. I saw your tweet. I didn't know you hit back. Tom in the chat, FAU plus 24.5. I'm not there. I didn't like FAU's only score last week was via a deflected pick 6. A long one. They couldn't do anything against Ohio. That was a bad performance. And I just think there's a sense of urgency for Clemson. I know they got Florida State on deck, but they've already lost the game. And they started slow last week before they got going. I didn't bet the game. Typically, I would want Florida Atlantic here, but I'm not there. Are you?
No, I mean, some people I bet with got in at the, the 23, 23.5, 24, across 24 now. I'm not super, but again, it would be Clemson only for me. I agree with you. That was kind of a panic alarm FAU performance last week. And yeah, I thought, Clemson's offense finally got some, a little bit more, rhythm going. We'll see if that keeps up this week.
Joey props coming out. Yeah, you got to wait 15, 20 minutes. End of the show. Yeah, we save the best for last. Joey props are hot commodity on this show. So you're going to have to wait another 15, 20 minutes, Tom, for that. Plus a few more best bets. The whole card from Preston. You going to release that or no?
I don't have his whole.
Okay.
Listen, maybe I'll tweet it out in code. Here a little bit. I got it. That was just one we discussed earlier in the week, so I don't have his whole. And I gotta be. Hopefully, no Crawley Town fans listen to the show because I gotta be a little cautious with about terms of what gets put online there. If I'll look back, check back in there and see what we got for more money line round robin plays.
South Florida plus 35.
I'm in at 35. I'm with Buckner's QB.
Yeah,
I'm in at 35. It's got to be 35 though. If it gets there, Mr. The drunk driver, take an Uber, baby, to South Florida because I like it at 35. It's not 34. Looks like it's best at the moment. I'm in at 35 though. I don't like Buckner. I don't think it's an upgrade. I don't think last week was he had a horrible interception. I don't think Milroe, it was like the reason Alabama lost last week. So I understand, like, if you're looking forward, in the season, we're going to need more efficient passing, yada, yada. I don't think you get that from Travis Buckner. If you listen to this show last year, we're not fans of Travis Buckner. So at a 35, I'm in. Got to get there, though. I think it's a downgrade, especially against a team like South Florida, where I think Milroe could have ran wild on that type of thing. And I don't think, I think you might get a little bit of rust coming off there with Buckner. So, yeah, at 35, I'll be a buyer.
I don't know who Travis Buckner is. We don't like him, but we also don't like Tyler Buckner.
His brother, Travis, I don't like either. But Tyler, the Bama QB.
I think you're thinking of Travis Barker, the drummer. 118 career pass attempts at Notre Dame, 8 picks and 4 pick sixes. I do not. He's a turnover machine.
Is Ty Simpson no good?
I guess not. Everything that we read was he might have been the starter.
Right. During the summer, it was like he's going to be the guy, and now he's like not even going to get a snap on the season.
I don't get it. And then I even heard certain practices that one of the freshmen, was it Lonergan? What was the most impressive? I don't know what's going on there at Alabama. Tom in the chat. I'm looking for Clemson plus 3.5. That's what I'm looking for next week. We'll see if we get there. I don't know. Let's see what the teams do this week. But I need another data point for Clemson. Are you betting that look ahead yet or no?
No, I'd lean with you too, though. I saw there was one place that had juice 3.5. I think it disappeared on the look aheads, but yeah, I'm with you. I would be, especially now that if you're getting Clemson over a field goal home, that'd be the only side. Look at
DraftKings.
Might be one out there. That would be the side I'd be looking to bet there at over a field goal. Now, but you hope that Clemson takes care of business. Florida State is in the Hurricane Bowl, and it's like a 10-3 game, and you get some value there. But yeah, at 3.5, that'd be the only side I could play it there.
It's not in the chat. We might as well talk about that game right now, though. The Hurricane game, Florida State, BC. Florida State, big favorite. Totals come down, 10 points at this point?
Yeah.
What are we doing there? Because they'll beat Peace Tout Service. This is just simple. The total's down 20% from open. Side was only down 10%. Somewhere there's some mispricing. So I took old BC plus the points in the old red bandana game that they usually get up for.
That was, I know, I'm really hoping it's poor weather because I tell you,
if it's not, I'm screwed.
It's not a team that I've been particularly fond of, especially through 2 weeks. It doesn't look great, but this is you know what? As long as they can, muck it up, throw the I guess we'll have to see there. I agree with but as you said, the total was coming down so aggressively, the side was lagging behind it. So if you got in front of that and you were up there, the total had come down 6 points, and Boston College was still 27-28. So yeah, it was natural, and I see why you got in there though. I wouldn't be looking to get in anymore though at this point.
Fair enough. Air Force minus 9.5. I lean that way tonight. But Utah State has impressed me so far this season. They've exceeded expectations. Did you bet this one?
No,
last night shook me a little bit as far as the market moves.
I agree with them. I stayed away here. I thought Air Force would be a little bit more. I mean, you were on it. You called last week on Sam Houston. And they just weren't able to move the ball. Now, Sam Houston, a better defense than Utah State, but Utah State's been better than I thought coming in this year. The boys from Logan are playing some ball this year. They may not have a ton of talent. But yeah, I don't want to lay 9.5 with Air Force.
Yeah, it's a good data point. We'll really find out about those two teams tonight. Virginia Tech +7. I mean, they're banged up. Wells is banged up at quarterback. Jennings, their outstanding wide receivers, out for basically the season. That's why Rutgers money, right angles on Rutgers. But I tell you, low total, Virginia Tech +7. That's a pizza bet for me.
Yeah, it seems like they got kind of a little bit more positive injury update than we thought there. I know when Right Angle released it, it crossed 7. People bought it back. Rutgers has definitely been more impressive than what I thought coming into the year. But again, depending on some of the injury reporting and who's going to be able to go for VT, could only play a side. It's one of those, if tomorrow before kick there's some positive injury news, might jump in on that 7. If not, you got to leave it alone.
We hit the Tom one on Florida Atlantic against Clemson. Shane in the chat, college caps. Who the hell is that? Just gave out UTSA -7. Who's that? College caps. You know
I don't know. And let's see. Well, unfortunately, college caps doesn't have a lot of market influence because it's still -7. So if somebody's giving it out and it ain't moving, I'm not too concerned about it. Not to be a dick, but it is what it is.
Hey, for several years, I had no market influence. So maybe it's somebody that's really good. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting old, so I'm like, I remember where I was, and I'm still, not where other people are yet. So we'll see. I can't give that out with the Frank Harris.
No, I don't like it. I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't do it with Frank. If Frank was in, hey, then
even then, if he's hobbling around,
yeah.
Nope. Connor in the chat. Knish, you're a better man than me. Still listening to Simmons pods.
I still listen. I know it's gonna be painful, but the NBA is way better than the NFL. But yeah, listen.
You have been a proud listener of that show forever, man.
I'm a pod masochist. I can't give it up.
What are you drinking tonight, man? Gil in the chat wants to know.
Joey K is really not. Joey K is more of an uppers guy than a downers guy, if you haven't noticed. So it's usually a lot of caffeine. So I don't usually drink too much booze because it gets me too, like I'm a couple of drinks that I'm ready to, pass out there. So I prefer, to be like mainlining, cold brew.
Agree. As I gotten older, I like my coffee. If there's one thing, if it's deciding between coffee or booze, what to give up, I'm giving up booze.
Especially on a Friday night. I got to be up early tomorrow. We got a ton of stuff going, batting on the screen all day. Everybody, getting extra stuff. So
can't be drinking during Friday night football.
Yeah, Friday nights I can't be boozing.
You have a lot of beefs. Yep, we all know this. Knish has a lot of beefs.
I don't really actually dislike most of these people, but I mean, listen. The guy, if you go back and listen to one of those old $1 Million Pick segments, and then talk to me.
Yeah, you've been criticizing him on that for years.
He's no good. Doesn't bet. You can tell he doesn't bet. It's so painfully obvious. It's like if you get on and a guy's like never made a real bet in his life. Like you can tell in 6 minutes. Like I don't want to hear your betting picks if you don't actually throw at least a little bit of money behind it. Joey Uppers.
Joey Uppers. I like that. That's funny. New Mexico State. A lot of money on the over. A little bit of money coming in on New Mexico. I'm on the over. I didn't bet the side. What do you got here?
I grabbed a little. It took off today. I think, unfortunately, our New Mexico State boys are not particularly good. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to win CUSA this year. And New Mexico maybe a little bit better. They finally got a real quarterback in there. I agreed with the move. I wouldn't want to lay 3 though. I mean, 2.5 would be the last buy point for me to be a smaller play now on New Mexico, but nothing crazy now that it took off today.
South Alabama +7 against Oklahoma State. South Alabama possible injuries. I don't like really either team. What I've seen so far, it's a takes 7. I think is the right number. Lay 6.5, take 7.5. What say you?
Yeah, I agree. There could be we got some info that a couple of non-key guys for South Alabama might be out. So that obviously doesn't help. But the Gundy offense laying a TD, like their backs are running like the I form handoff because they don't have a quarterback. They can't pass. So laying on number, I'm all right on that.
Travis under 221 and a half passing yards. Oh, Jordan Travis, I take it. That sounds good to me. What do you think?
I would lean that way. Again, it's one of those, as long as the weather is as bad as we think it's going to be, tomorrow, then probably yes. But hey, it's got to be one of the, that stuff can kind of change. I think listen, if you still got, I mean, obviously it's still got a 221 and a half at bet 365, then yeah, fire on it there if you got the access there.
Speaking of weather, real quick, Holy Cross, Yale, St. Thomas, Harvard, Brown, Bryant, Dartmouth, New Hampshire. Those are games you want to be betting lower tomorrow. That's some actionable advice for those that are saying, oh, you just talk about your past posting bets. There you go. I haven't bet any of those yet. Southern Miss first half. What was the look? Why was that a strict numbers play? Well, I mean, it was a short week. I mean, Florida State off a big-time performance. I didn't expect the Florida State to be onside kicking and being as aggressive as they were. So that was just, a play when you had a full game at 31. I thought 17 and a half, that half point was worth it at that point. That's all. What say you on that one? Yeah, did you hate my handicap? I just thought Florida State might be a little flat coming off a big-time performance with one less day of prep.
You know what? I didn't listen. I just joined you on it. I didn't really deep dive into it. Unfortunately,
they got crushed.
We didn't
it was
there. So
it got crushed, to say the least. So I apologize for those that tailed me on that one. Georgia Southern plus 21, similar to last year versus Nebraska. A lot of steam on Wisconsin this all week. I'm a part of it very early in the week. But 21, I mean, if I woke up from a coma, didn't see any of the numbers, and saw Georgia Southern plus 21, I probably would bet that. What say you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in on it. I know this is listen, some people I bet with. I know you were in on Wisconsin early. Some people I bet with like Wisconsin. I'm gonna buy Georgia Southern at close here. 20 would be good enough for me. I'm gonna keep waiting, see if we can get a 21. If not, I'll be taking the points. I am not a Wisconsin believer, and I don't think hey, listen, Georgia Southern, if anything else, they can throw it around a little bit. I think they can cover 3 TDs. So that'll be the number I'm looking for, but I'll be in either way.
A lot of money on the over on that one too. Brian in the chat, yeah, we talked this one early at the start of the show. Kansas State, Missouri. We're looking for a 3 to bet Kansas State. We just think they're the better, more sound team. Coaching wise, better. Don't turn it over. Offense, defense. That sounds like a good road team there. Good team consistently against the spread. So a lot of money on Missouri. Get it, but you got to play numbers. 3.5. Would you bet Kansas State at 3.5? Because I'm not sure we ever get to 3.
No, still not. It's gonna. I agree with you. I don't think it'll get there, but that's the only way I'm getting involved in it.
Is Georgia Tech still a buy at 18? We did give it out 20.5 on Monday. 18. I certainly still lean that way. What say you?
I still lean that way too. I'd still bet it. This is not one of those that this is one that I thought had more margin. That's why we gave it out early in the week. It's come down. I still like it over 17. I think Georgia Tech can play in this game. Ole Miss is pretty banged up on offense. They've got some of their better players that are either banged up or not going to be available. And I kind of believe in the Georgia Tech offense and Haynes King. And I haven't been that impressed from what I've seen from, like Ole Miss, especially last week. And I know it's a good Tulane team, but I like Brent Key. I don't know. I think Georgia Tech can hang around here. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was competitive. So
off the field, what is this lawsuit against Lane Kiffin from one of the players?
Yeah, I saw that break today that somebody was putting a lawsuit. I don't think that'll have, but no. Hey, I did see that story.
Weird
break today.
Wyoming plus 30. Peasley's a little bit banged up for Wyoming. I get it, flat spot for Texas, slow tempo team Wyoming, but my goodness, I told you to lay it with Texas. Didn't I tell you? I was like, that number should be at least 28.
Yep. And We waited long enough. Zach, give me the Quinn Ewers passing yardage.
Here we
go.
go.
Here, because this. Oh, look at it. Look at the speed. This guy under 281.
He's unbelievable, man.
There. I know he's the best in the business. I went under. Here's some of it. One, I think this pace is going to be miserably slow. Two, this is going to be the last real shot for Malik Murphy and Arch to get some playing time. So if this gets up, I think if Texas gets a 4-score lead here, I think you are going to have be able to see, unless this game is, competitive going into the second half within a score or two. I do think this is going to be the opportunity for Texas to kind of see what they have here in, the backup. I think people, would love to see Arch in this one. And it's another one. I think slow pace. Texas will want to get a little bit of the run game going. And one that I think just kind of lends itself here to, because if you look at what Texas has, coming, I mean, they're going into the crux of the Big 12 schedule. They got, Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma coming up, really their next big games. This is kind of the game where if they can get out early, I think you see some of the, and I think it could be a little bit of, as you said here, wouldn't be surprised, especially if Peasley can't go or he's not 100%, then I think Texas could get out to quite a lead here, and you get to see some of the backups there. And you won't want to really risk Ewers here. So I took some underpassing yardage there. I think that's good for at least 5 yards or so.
I like it. Under 281.5 there is what I saw. A couple more in the chat, and then I want to get to a few games we haven't talked about and see if we can get you guys some more best bets. Jonathan in the chat, Nevada plus 28. My numbers say so, but my goodness, Nevada is terrible. It just depends on how much Kansas wants to run their offense in the second half. I don't know. The thing with Kansas, they got a capable backup.
This is one of those, where is the bottom on this Nevada team? I don't want to get in front. Kansas, too, is as you said, I mean, we talked about it. Their offensive schemes have been so good. They run it up. They've got, and it's it's not like they're polling one QB. Jason Bede's got so much time.
Yeah, he comes in, they're still scoring.
Yeah, you're getting almost 4 quarters of legitimate QB play there. So I don't want to get in front of this train here. There's not even it's not even a number I'm looking for to buy on Nevada. It's just I'm out. I don't just, maybe 42.5 live after a few scores early or something. I don't want any part of that.
Non-actionable info, just for a fun stat. Largest away favorite role ever for Kansas. In fact, they haven't been a road favorite since 2009, and they're laying 28. That's crazy. Kudos. Lance Leopold's got that program rocking and rolling right now. John in the chat, Fresno State, can they get another road win against P5? And that's where the money's been. I think it's a fair line at 3. I'm not betting at 3, but Arizona State's no good.
No.
Fresno State did concern me. They really struggled against Eastern Washington.
Right. I thought they were going to lose. I mean, it's OT. I thought they gave up the first score, too. I'm a little surprised Eastern Washington get a little more aggressive in OT there. But, I don't – this is we've talked about year 0 for some programs, at Nebraska, and they look a little bit more competitive. And then, we thought Arizona State is on the opposite side of things where, they're playing Rashada. I think they're just going to take their losses this year. They're going to get crushed in the Pac-12. So this is one of those, Kenny Dillingham, he's got himself a long contract. He's going to play the developmental angle. They're really bad. They're rough. Defense, offense, I don't know. It would be Fresno or nothing for me.
Final one, then we'll get to a few best bets. William in the chat, Wake Forest minus 14. I'm not there on that one. I think 14 is a fair number. Over money's come in. A little bit of Old Dominion early in the week. I am part of Old Dominion. They're better than I anticipated. Wake Forest, a little bit of a misleading win against Vanderbilt last week. What say you here? I think 14 is the right number. Don't see it moving.
Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty much it's been one of those 14, been sitting on 14. All
3
their
days
market
now,
indicators would say that this is the right number. So no one's really gotten involved here. I don't have a strong take on it. Hey, gun to my head, Wake Forest, but not a strong opinion. Some I haven't bet.
Let's talk Troy JMU. James Madison. Numbers don't like it, but I like the spot here, and I just rewatched both these teams' games here in the last couple of days. I have talked myself into Troy here. I'm not a big fan of Troy this year. But did not like what I saw from James Madison each of the first 2 games. I think they're getting too much credit for the Virginia game. Hell, he didn't cover. That was one came out of a rain delay, hit a couple touchdowns. Tony Elliott's an idiot for Virginia. No wonder he didn't have his team prepped out of a rain delay. I don't like what I see from James Madison. I think their quarterback's overrated. He's no good. I know he hit a couple passes. I want 2.5 as the best bet. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that. Now that there was some buyback, it's back in the range that I like it as playable. No, I'm with you on Troy. Laid some 2.5 here, and now it's back there. So yeah, I'm in.
All right. So there's one. So Zach, because you're so quick, can you pull up the best bet board? Let's see if we can hit another one or two. Maybe call back to a couple of games that we passed on earlier in the show. But that should get us at like 7 or 8 best bets now. I'm trying to think. San Jose, Toledo. No, you like Toledo. And I kind of like San Jose. There's Penn State. Okay, we got that one. I forgot about Penn State. So, I mean, should we be adding any more off of that? You got Toledo. Yeah.
You got any play in the FCS game tonight? I laid some Rhode Island.
I laid Rhode Island.
Yeah,
Rhode
I
Island's
know.
aside. Where's it at now, the Rhode Island game? Wait, did it fly through 10?
Yeah, it's flied through 10. Some of my FCS guys still think it has some value there. It's still at 10, so or 10.5. But it'd be a smaller play now that it's crossed through. But I still think that's the side.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've laid it. Man, I'm not the only one betting this stuff. I see it open. What, 6.5, 7? I didn't even get that. I laid 8.5. People, this market is moving. Couple more. Do we want to put you know what? I'm going to own LSU. Let's add LSU minus 9.5. I'll own that one, Zach. I don't see it. I mean, and if I loses, then I'll just blame the eye test for me because I don't think LSU is as bad as that final against Florida State. I watched that game. Watched it twice. There was a 17-17 game with 6 minutes left. Lacey dropped what would have been a touchdown pass. And even at that point, I know Florida State didn't play well, but LSU had 2 red zone opportunities that they came up with a goose egg in, and it was still 17-17. So I don't think they're as bad. I thought they handled business like they should have last week. Obviously, they covered the biggest point spread in college football so far this season. And Mississippi State +4 in turnovers, and you got to go to overtime to beat Arizona. That's a big red flag as far as I'm concerned. That's the handicap. Plus, my number's got a 10.5. It's a rookie number.
Yeah, got one more. I'm with you. Hey, we're in on LSU. I bet some LSU, so it's not my strongest take of the week, but I'm with you.
You got anything else you want to give to the people?
Is there anything left on the board? Then I think we kind of hit it all this week. I like the card, and hopefully we get on track this week.
All right. Want to make sure, guys, if you like what you've seen, and hopefully we get some more wins. Because, I mean, we went off to the losses here. It hasn't been a hot start, not even for me betting. And so hopefully we get some more winners this week. Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit the Books YouTube channel so you get notified in real time whenever a new episode drops or we go live. If you enjoy the content, as always, please smash the like button. If you're listening in audio form, please rate and review 5 stars. For the man, the myth, the legend.
We didn't touch Bowling Green. The guy Bowling Green, Michigan. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about it today. Charles, that's an L on our take. The head-to-head, the Powers Knish head-to-head.
What are we doing there? Zach, can you pull that one up? Let's see if we can get a bet there on that one. You want to go head-to-head at 41? No, I kind of like the over. Where are you at on this one?
It just, like we talked about it earlier in the week where it's like Michigan is going at such a slow pace that it makes covering these, these huge numbers really tough. But at the same time, it feels like if the offense gets, they've left a few plays on the field. I don't know, man. Tough. Bowling Green can move I'm like, I guess 49-7 is
that's a win for both.
I don't know. It's tough. Like, I wish, Charles, I know we want to talk about it. I don't actually have action on this game at the moment. So that's kind of why we left it. We usually, talk about stuff that we got actual USD on. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have much here.
I'm still shook. I bet the Wolverines last week. I was the only guy probably in the world that had 34. And that last UNLV touchdown hurt me quite a bit. They went down the field and got a garbage No one else was paying attention because what the line closed 38.
Yeah.
I was pissed. So yeah, I'm not running the window right now with Michigan. I tweeted it.
I thought we'd get maybe a little bit of a deflated Michigan number this year because of some of those results. Not the case whatsoever. If any, Michigan took more money in the week and got this through 40. So that was kind of I don't know if Bowling Green can score on it like 42-0 would scare me and that type of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I wish we had something for it. It'd be more fun to go head-to-head in that one. But yeah, we're not just gonna make up stuff. We only talk about stuff we put the real deal behind. So.
And keep in mind, I mean, even though I'm a BG alum, I mean, their win total bet under was my favorite win total bet that I made. So I'm not too optimistic about the coaching staff. Unless you got any final thoughts, that'll be a wrap, man.
Oh, hey, good to go. Let's get it around on the weekend.
We will talk to you guys. I and Zach will talk to you fresh thing Monday morning, 9 a.m. We'll have more than one release this week. We've eased into the season. We'll give out a couple to the detriment of gambling Twitter. I'm sorry for you $100,000 a game bettors. We are giving out a few plays on a Monday morning. Sorry for the people that want to watch. But if you want to watch Knish, the star of the show, you'll have to wait till 5 p.m. on Monday. And we'll be back and we'll resume. We'll recap the week and we'll be already on to a loaded week 4 college football card with a lot of monster matchups next week. And for Joey Knish, Zach Phillips, I'm Brad Powers. You just watched Hit the Books.